Good afternoon, Dan.
Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you
So,
again.
it's my pleasure.
Again. Welcome to Special People, Special Stories Africa. It is a documentary where we're trying to highlight and put out um, real stories of real heroes, real people, and how they've been able to cope with life challenges as a person living with one form of impairment or other. So, can we meet you again?
My name is Dan. I anchor Disability Not Inability Show.
Okay.
I'm also the former PRO of Lagos, the Abino Foundation, Lagos State. Where I've been doing a lot of advocacy, and then the Disability Not Inability Show is a show that is aimed at raising 360 awareness and reorientation of the society on the wrong perceptions, and emphasis on the wrong perceptions on concerning special people, persons with special.
I like the wrong perceptions, which is where we're going to. So you are obviously somebody living with
Yes, albinism.
albinism,
Disability.
but albinism was not. I mean, most people don't see it as a disability,
Well,
but it has been classified
yes.
as a disability
Yes.
because you're living with a condition that makes you vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us how has it been as a person living with albinism?
Okay, we need to really, sometimes when people try to dissociate, it's because they don't understand. Disability is not just a terminology. It's not empowerment. And we're using the United Nations model, which says that if somebody is either has physical, um, intellectual, mental empowerment, that within the society cannot operate on equal basis with others. Automatically, there's even what the United Nations calls social angle to disability, which means if you're living in a condition where you are in the society that has institutionalized discrimination or institutionalized stigmatization, if you have that condition, that means you have a disability.
You have a disability.
That is the social angle. So that is to define that in the early 1920s, 1800, twins could have been classified then.
I'm a twin.
Yes. So if you were born then, that is a social stigma. I mean, institutionalized. Man, they were institutionalized. Not that a twin is a blessing. Triplets are blessings today.
Multiple births.
Yes, blessings. But imagine in those days, because as an enlightenment has not reached that level. So when on albinism, because we lack melanin in our skin, we are susceptible to the sun. We will have cancer faster than you who have melanin can. And because we lack melanin in our eyes too, we have visual low vision.
Okay.
So these classifications, and it's statutory and it's permanent. That is not that okay, tomorrow I will have melanin.
Yes, and then you get better. Yes.
Get better. So that is why
there's no cure.
There's no cure about it. So we have to not live in denial, but understand that disability is not incapacitation.
Yes.
And then how do we then become? We can say, okay, this is how we manage our albinism. If we live in denial, we'll not even worry about what we will do, and that is when people will have cancer and have
May we not get to that point. Thankful and thank God for the level of sensitization and awareness that is going on out there. How was it growing up as a person with albinism? How was it when you realized that your condition was different from every other person? How was it? How did you cope?
From I think when I was primary 1, 2, 3, as a child, you'll be observant, you'll be radical, and immediately you begin to come to the age of awareness, 9, 10, you will discover your peculiar. And the peculiarity you will not see in a positive angle, because that's the society will not want you to see it that way. In a school, you see children like you, they be, singing for you. Immediately you are cited.
And clapping.
So sometimes you be embarrassed. And as a child, you don't know is there anything wrong about my condition. Maybe like our parents who did not understand what albinism is all about, we were not explained to. And then sometimes they try to encourage, forget about that and all that, and you find out that you are having this phobia. Each time you go out, people find it difficult. It can affect your psyche as a child. And then you begin to grow up thinking that there's something wrong with you. So, and that was, and then when you come to, as a society, to people become afraid of you, that like a pregnant woman will not want to have you around. Like when you're trying to enter a door, say, please, I don't want to give birth to a baby like you. Then you'll be thinking, what is wrong? Is there anything really wrong with me? So those are the emotional challenges, and those are the social angle that could have been very tough. Not that I think I'm a bit blessed, okay? In the family level, there was no discrimination for me because we are 4.
Can I cut in? Were you the only, or are you the only person living with the condition in the family?
No, we are 4.
In your immediate family?
No.
Your siblings?
Yes.
4?
We are 3 now because we lost a brother.
Oh, wow.
But we used to be 4, and we are a total of 9 siblings. I have a total of 8 siblings.
From the same parents?
Yes.
So from whose side now? From your mom's side or from your dad's side? Because I hear that it is, it comes in every, I mean, I beg to differ, and then you have to also make it clear, demystify my perception already. I would say myopic because I don't live with it based on what I read. They say it skips a generation or skips 2 generations. So was it your mom or your dad?
My mom cannot trace.
Oh wow.
That is how we will even say that we can't say it. It just skips generation.
Yes.
What we have found out is that my mom, certainly there was an albino in my lineage, in my family tree, but my mom can't trace. Certainly there was, because it has to come from both parents.
Okay.
My father is a carrier of albinism gene.
Okay.
My mother is a carrier of albinism
gene. No wonder you have 4.
Oh.
Yes.
But if it was only one carrier, it won't manifest.
It won't manifest.
Okay. At all.
Okay.
So what happens is it doesn't skip generations. It is when that carrier meets exact carrier. Now, if I get married and my spouse is not a carrier of my type of albinism gene, because you have different albinism genes. We have OC1, we have ocular cutaneous, we have the one we call ocular, where people just have your color lighter, but you see they have brown hair, and probably their eyes will be squinting. That is a signal that there's very little melanin in their eyes.
Okay.
So they are still albinos, but their own is they are not full-fledged.
Okay.
So they have higher level of melanin than I am full-fledged. They call me ocular cutaneous.
Okay, ocular cutaneous.
Yes, that's my type. So we still have ocular, and we have OC1, OC2, OC3. So in this case, for a generation to manifest, that's why I'm telling you that my mom cannot trace, because she have had it in her gene. Her parents have had it, but they have never married
anyone who also had the gene for make it dominant.
Yes, to make it dominant. So it becomes recessive as the generation goes. Until
a carrier meets another carrier,
exactly,
and then it is dominant. So that means for people who keep saying that, oh, it's in the wife family, probably the husband cannot trace. He might have been a carrier for it to have been dominant.
Yes, he has to be a carrier. Now, I am a carrier. I'm manifested a recessive carrier now.
Okay.
So if I'm a dominant carrier.
Dominant carrier.
Yes. Now. If my spouse
is a recessive carrier.
Is a recessive carrier.
And she doesn't know.
She will not certainly.
They will say because you are an albino, that's why you're having an albino child.
My brother's children are dark skin. 2 of them.
2?
Yes. My friend now has 2 kids, 2 boys. They are all dark. She's albino, but her husband is dark.
Wow.
But those children are carriers.
So if they meet another person who has a recessive gene, unknowingly of their type,
yes, they can have dominant.
Oh wow.
Otherwise, it will keep skipping the generation
until the generation meets. Exactly. So every generation is a carrier, a potential carrier.
Potential carrier. You may not
until they meet somebody and then they manifest.
Yes.
So
otherwise they become that.
Okay, so that's clear. So how was, I mean, we talk about your growing up. How is it now? How do people see you? Has any socio-cultural norm affected your existence? Well, in Africa, we know what it is.
It is still affecting. Okay. I've granted interviews that I say that even under the COVID-19 regime, I've entered buses and conductor will jokingly say, COVID-19 leggings. So that means there's a carrier of COVID-19 here. Or you're carrying Chinese. So, and that is just maybe when another, we hope another one doesn't come, so
Yes.
that we don't tag us
Yes.
that one.
Yes.
So now that is like we still come to refer to this fundamental United Nations model. They call it social model.
Okay.
As far as the social enlightenment is not, literacy level is less than 60% or so.
Okay.
It's less than 60%.
Okay.
So even though you have research and publish it everywhere, you cannot drive out discrimination for 20 years until there is a level a society is enlightened. Maybe say post-secondary education is at 50%. It's at 70%. So that means people can now read and know facts.
Depending on the information that they want.
Exactly.
So this will take us now to schools and the schools you attended. The schools you attended, were the teachers aware? Because
No.
I mean, at the AOMF we say awareness, acceptance, and
Yes.
assistance. So were teachers aware of your condition? Did they help to make you comfortable? In your universities, did you have maybe equal access to other people had? And then other people you also know living with one form of albinism or another, especially those ones who had problems with their height. Did they have extra attention? Were the owners of the school, were the school managers able to make you more comfortable, or they also joined those who were stigmatizing because it happens? So how was it like?
Maybe I will tell you from where I come from and the experience I had or I am having where I presently I am. I would say that I grew up in the East, that is in the eastern part of the country.
Okay.
Yes, there is discrimination across board, but I think during school time, there's more open. You know, beliefs and myths varies by tradition.
Yes.
Okay. So what I would say I experienced, especially in primary, secondary school, that was not too harsh for me, was the teachers were open.
Okay.
And then what we have found out over time is that albinos are gifted, maybe not absolutely, but in high percentage cases, they have what we call rational intelligence.
Okay.
It's different from cognitive. Cognitive is what you observe. Because we have no vision, but we have rational, that is mathematical intelligence, let me put it that way. So immediately we are able to perceive, I mean, to manage, if our sight is managed, and we learn the basic foundations like pronunciation and spelling. When it now comes to writing and reading and comprehension, which now requires intellectual analysis, we do well. So from where I come from, the question is if you're doing well in school, the teacher will want. So I was having teachers that were begging me to come and stay with them.
Looking beyond your your color.
Yes.
And that was because you were able to fit into the class without giving them extra jobs.
Yes. And then, you know, a teacher once called me and said that she used to wonder how I was always invited to say whether my parents were a teacher, because how am I solving my assignment faster? So that was, I must say, maybe from where I did, the meat was not too.
And that was at that time.
That was at that time. So, but when I came over to work in Southwest, that is when I knew that albinism faced severe stigmatization, because not just that, in those places in the East, they'll be calling you. Some of the toughest stigmatizing word will be unfortunate European.
Oh wow.
They will call you white. Onyosha Miss Rose, or that is white man that Miss Rose. So sometimes they will call you that, or they will call you Beke, that is white man. You know, it can be a kind of like you can even make your head to swell up.
Yes,
that
yes.
I am a white man.
White man, yes.
So though it is the children that want to use it, in few cases that you face severe discrimination. Sometimes the prefects want to play with us. They will tell you that, oh yeah, I know you don't see the afternoon. Oh yeah, come and face the sun like this.
Wow.
Yes, that was what I faced. So those were the tough ones. But over at the Southwest, where I stayed a little longer, in some places of the state, that is when I knew that the myths are tough, are heavy. Like people calling you guns, Musha. You know, people calling you, I mean, derogatory, seriously derogatory.
Yes.
And then you can greet somebody, you say, hello, Chief, who are you greeting? That means not receptive to even your greetings. So it becomes, so it's two ways. So that's now, there was a big demarcation from what I experienced over there where I was growing up. when I just knew that it's because of lack of understanding. But if you prove yourself, oh, you'll be really accepted. Like I say, in those days, my teachers was begging that I should come and live with them. You know?
Yes.
But in the south here or in the southwest here, there is people fear that this one is the punishment from the gods.
So we don't even want to associate with him at all.
So that is the difference. Now it becomes difficult for you even to prove. You're not even given an opportunity
Yes.
to prove that even if you're from the gods, you're from the good gods.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
And that's where the acceptance comes
that
from.
is where the acceptance. So and also doing a TRO job, I have had so many experiences. I've had stories. I also did marketing in a way. When you get to an office, you know, nobody wants to. If they see you in the morning, they say, just go. Don't make us have a bad
Don't make us have a bad day, bad day.
long.
And that's just because
Yes.
of your
That
disability.
is the social orientation.
Social orientation.
And that was what I worked so hard. You know, I told my team that if we are going to change anything about our ability, we should focus on 40% on social orientation. And then when you now, if you had an opportunity, like when we speak on radio, people will call it, is that all? Just that you don't have melanin? Please let us know. Because at the end of the day, you find out that I will not say I'm fine, because there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people like me. For instance, there is a myth that it is salt.
Yes.
They are not salt. So when parents believe that it's not it's salt, they don't give their salt, and it causes double issues.
Oh wow.
Yes, because you like iodine, and sodium chloride is good for the system.
Yeah.
Irritability and all that. So it can cause you goiter.
Oh.
And when they believe that it's the salt that causes the freckles, that
Okay.
they can put a shine to the sun. You know, go to
Instead of
Paris
it, yes.
and it wasn't see because that's the sunburn that causes cancer.
Oh, okay.
And not giving salt gives a lot of problems.
Double.
So if we now begin to do sensitization, you see people begin to put the job and they don't have information, but sometimes there's still a friction that how can you just want us to believe what you say on the radio 2 times against what our forefathers have told us?
I've been saying, and just come one day and you want to change it, you know.
So that
you
is,
know.
you will still face
And that's the access to healthcare.
yes.
How has it been?
For a lot, like we've been saying now, in our advocacy, if mind you that doctors don't even understand, most doctors don't understand albinism. Teachers don't understand albinism. So, not having the facts is different. When you have the facts, you will still decide to accept or not. But not even knowing, I've had cases or particular case where a doctor called me that you want me to cancel the husband of our friend who is a doctor, but the wife gave birth to an albino child and they are having trouble. This can be my son.
From where?
From the doctor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the man's question will be from where? How?
I'm
a doctor.
I'm a doctor, and there's
I know this
like
is my job, you know. I know this thing. I went to school. You know, I'm not an illiterate and all of it.
Almost broke. It caused challenge. So then we are saying, except medical doctors that specialize on genetics, because these things are they are in biology.
Yes. I mean, for the cell
variation genetics.
Yes, variation, cell biology and genetics.
So that is the recommended theory. So, but how many people? And then even when you have the fact, you are now. Some people want to believe in the negative news.
You can't come and tell me what I've known since. You can't come and tell me
my grandfather is wrong?
Yes. You can't come and tell me what I've known since. So before we leave, just a word for those who would be watching this. Can you please tell them what you think should be done? We always say awareness, acceptance, and assistance. That means be aware of the condition.
Yes.
That it's not contagious and
Yes.
it's not a life-threatening condition. Yes. Accept the person for who she is or who he is, and then assist. What would you like to add to that?
I want to say, for me, the best thing that happened to me is I'm an albino.
Okay.
Yes. I don't used to know that before. I know now. So that means God is perfect. So we have to not live in denial. You know, it is not for albinos to say that, because there are some people that want to prove a point, they keep going on into the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah.
And when cancer comes, it's a million. Even when you do the operation, it will still spread.
Yeah, especially if you don't even know that it can start spreading.
Yes. So, persons, we albinos, we have to be accepted, and parents have to understand that this is the children they have. They are wonderful. It is just to manage their exposure to the sun. But you first of all have to accept.
Even we who are not albinos suffer from sunburn.
Oh yes. It takes you 1 hour 30 minutes to burn on the sun. It takes us 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
We get red. So because you have a high concentration of melanin relative to high.
A little bit of caution and everything will be fine.
Yes.
Everything will
So
be fine.
then I think in the assistance level, is just to continue to spread the word. Because I tell you, in my experience, I cannot engage talking to somebody twice. The person will want to be my friend tomorrow. It is me that will say I have a lot of friends. Already.
Because when they now know,
yeah,
they now want to
and they also know that you're not, like you said, you're not contagious.
You're not bad luck.
You're not bad luck.
You're not Osha.
You're not the ghost. You're a bad ghost.
You're not a bad god. So I mean, thank you so much, Dan, for gracing us this opportunity to be on Special People, Special Stories, Africa. Thank you.
I will be